Now we'll move on with creating the floor structure. We'll do a concrete slab. It'll be 150 millimeters thick and it'll have a 50 millimeter leveling bed of sand or blue metal base underneath there. So a total of 200 millimeters thick, made up of a leveling bed and concrete as a structural floor. Now before we do that, we'll need to make up what we call a composite out of it. So the composite will then be used in the slab command. So you do that under the options, element attributes, composites. This is where we're going to make up the composite of the concrete and the leveling bed. You're probably starting off with, let's start off at the same, I don't think it really matters, but FSO2 150 floor structural concrete and timber floor finish. I'm going to click the new button and I'll just see what that does. Now I want to call this, the next floor slab number we've got, I've got FSO5, so we'll make use of the next one, FSO6. So when you click into new, the new composite is going to be FS06 colon 150 millimeter floor structural concrete, struct conc. And just leave it as that without any timber floor finish. We don't need to mention the sand bed, that's going to be taken for granted. So click OK to that, and we've got one skin, this is called. Now we're going to make this skin a thickness of 150, and we're going to give it a material of concrete structural. So we've got concrete structural 150 millimeters thick. Then you're going to click insert skin, and that's going to put another skin. I don't know whether that one went above or below, but that's made it identical anyway. So this one down below we're going to make 50 millimeters thick, and we're going to change its material to sand. If there's a sand, there's sand there. So we've got 150 millimeters of concrete and 50 millimeters of sand. Now down the bottom, it's selected to be used with all of these different things: walls, floors, roofs, and I guess that one's morphs, or that's a shell. So we'll uncheck all of those and leave it just for floors. So I think we've done everything now. We've created this floor composite, 150 concrete and 50 sand. Click OK. So now we're ready to create our floor. So we'll go back into the ground floor plan, and we've got to create, I might even do this tenancy by tenancy in individual slabs going around these walls, because these walls go 200 millimeters down into the ground, or sitting on top of the footings, so they go through the slab area. So I'm going to use the slab tool, layer, slab floor. If you haven't got that already, we'll go slab floor. Geometry method, I'm going to need to use this polygon shape. Reference plane location is going to be measured to the top. The structure, we're going to leave that set to the second one, which is composite. Fly that out and pick the second one. And the structure that we're going to use is our FS06, if that's not selected for you already, the one that you've just created. And then our bottom, our top, sorry. So this measurement here is being measured from the ground floor that you're on at the moment to the top, because we've set reference plane top over here. So we want that to be 0. So we're measuring to the top. Okay, so the shape of the slab that I want to do, I think I've got a little bit of error in my wall over here, which I'll have to fix up later. But the shape of the slab will go from this line. We might be able to copy these around later. So I'm following this shape, and we'll go right out to this intersection point. We'll come to this intersection point and go back out. We're just going to do these slabs tenancy by tenancy. Probably copy them after we've done one. And that'll come right out to the outside, because those concrete walls are concrete block walls are sitting on top of the slab, so we could do the slab underneath there. So I've just placed that slab in that location. If I now switch back to that 3D view, so there's the slab, and you'll see that I've placed it along the centre line of the concrete tilt-up wall, but it zigzags around, zeds around the shape of the wall so that the wall can continue to go straight down onto the footing, to the bottom of that slab level, basically. So once you've, and now we'll have to fix this up in 3D, that's right. So we'll leave it for the moment because we might use that slab to copy across and then edit and adjust, and then when we've finished adjusting it in 3D, we're going to come here and we're going to adjust that edge to come back in underneath that curtain wall element through there. So I'll just go and do that now. So we'll select that wall, and I'll maybe pick this edge here, pet tool, go back to drag, make sure it's in drag mode, and we can drag that one across. Make sure you use your control key to get a little plus sign to copy it, option key if you're on Mac, and we'll take it through to there. So I've now got two slabs. This edge here needs to be edited a little bit. You can see it's the full thickness of the wall, and it needs to be only half. So if you click on that edge there, and then change back to this tool in the pet tool, offset edge, that allows you to pull that edge through to there. So if you zoom out a little bit, you can see that's the shape that we wanted now, from grid line to grid line, that around edge. So you're then going to be able to easily click on there, get the pet tool back into drag a copy by using your control key, option if you're on Mac, and then click and continue. We could do multiple even. To drag the option key or control key on Windows, and then one more. We might take this one all the way through. We'll do a different drawing for our concrete joints. So we need a copy of that, and then we need to do offset edge. So we need this one back on offset edge. So we can come back to there, and this one is offset edge will be set up, and that comes back to there. Doesn't seem to want to snap to it. I'm not sure why. If you come across here, you might pick up a midpoint through there. We want it done pretty accurately, and offset edge this one. Hopefully this one will snap to that edge line there. Yep, it does. Fine, set perpendicular. So we've now got those slabs in place, so I'll just quickly have a look at those in 3D. There are all the individual slabs, which we'll have a think about it later, but from a construction point of view, we might have a control joint, or at least a contraction joint at that point anyway, but we'll give that some thought to what the right sort of concrete jointing would be. So, and still from the underneath, if we were to hide this layer, so layer, hide layer, you can see that there's gaps looking down to the bedding material, through the bedding material, through those floors, because the concrete tilt-up walls sit down on those gaps. We've got the footing layer turned off. If we go back to our layer control, we created a layer for the footings. At the moment it's turned off, so if you were to turn it back on, you'd get the visualisation of those concrete footings sitting in underneath there, supporting the concrete tilt-up slabs. There's a little bit of adjustment to do because this footing now, because of the cutout in these concrete tilt-up slabs, some of these footings need to be moved back to a point where they can support the wall. And then the other thing that we said we've got to do, so I'll just bring the layers back on. So we'll go back to show and unlock all possibly. So the other thing we've got to do is under these slabs here, click on this edge and make sure that edge is in this pet tool. So that's the offset edge pet tool, and we want to bring that edge back to a point. If you click on this end point here, it'll find it, and that's brought that concrete now back under that concrete, that glass curtain wall. And we'll need to do that in a few locations, like here as well. This one here, Let's slide that one back, and we can touch on a corner to get it to the right place, and then the same with this one. It comes back, zoom out, try and find some corner or edge that you can touch on until your cursor changes to probably the tick shape. There we go, or the line at least highlights up blue, and then you know you've actually snapped it back to an accurate location. So we've got a couple more to do, and then we'll be done with the floor slab. And you'll see again, if you haven't picked up what I'm doing, you'll see again a bit clearer on this end with that slab selected. I'll select that slab. This is the edge that we want to move, so I'm clicking very carefully on this edge. And then if you use this pet tool, you can offset that edge and slide it along. And I'm going to slide it along. It's always good to try and find a point that you know of. It doesn't have to be in the same plane. So you can see I'm coming down to the bottom of this concrete tilt-up, and when I click on there, that's stretched it along until it meets that concrete tilt-up at that point there. So there's the floor slab done. I'll stop the video at that point.